This is Damian Macy representing the Friends of the Marshall Public Library for our Oral History Project. I'm at the lovely country home of Bob Irlbacker, and he's going to give us a little background of his life, and we look forward to hearing that. And at this point, I'll introduce Bob Irlbacker. You can go ahead and talk, and he'll just come through.
Start talking now?
Yeah.
Okay, well, my whole life, all I loved doing was hunting and fishing. My dad took me up to Canada when I was about 7 or 8 years old, and I was glued to it after that. I just went up there almost every year. And the day after I went to the same camp every year, and I got to be real good friends with the owner. And he says, if you want, come up here and I'll hire out to guide you for hunting and fishing. I thought, oh, that's really good, you know. So the day after I graduated high school, I moved to Canada and guided for hunting and fishing in the spring and the fall and the summer. And in the winter, cut pulpwood. And you couldn't make no money up there. And you worked harder than you could ever imagine.
Oh,
when you fished on them lakes, there was no roads going to them. There was just portages going across from lake to lake, you know, across land. And you have to carry these big, they're 17-foot freighter canoes. You have to, one guy carry it on your back. You balance it and carry it for sometime between a quarter and a half a mile.
Do you know how much those weighed?
I don't remember. I did at the time, but that's been a long time ago. And then I cut pulpwood up there in the wintertime, and that what made that job so hard, everything you cut, you had a pile by hand so that they could measure, so they could see how much to pay you, you know.
Sure.
So every piece of wood you cut, you had to put on your back. And that was nothing but hard work. And after a year and a half of that, I had no money, and I didn't spend anything. I said, I got to get out of here. So,
Bob, you mentioned your dad. Where did you grow up, or where were you born?
Oak Lawn, Illinois.
Oak Lawn.
That's a suburb south of Chicago. Mm-hmm. So I went back up there to my mom's, and I went to Jewel Food Store, and I got a job as an apprentice meat cutter. So I cut meat up there for I don't know how many years, 7 or 8 years. And then I had a friend that I grew up with that parents lived down here. The name was Larry Morton.
Oh, yeah.
And he's dead now. He's been dead for a long time. But anyway, that's who I bought this property off of, was his parents. And he got me coming down here for squirrel hunting. You know. I love squirrel hunting. So that's what got me started down here. And then, and I think it was 67, I moved down here in 67. I've been down here over 50 years.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. And I come down here, I went to work on Paris at Jerry Star Market. And then I got to be real good friends with Ben Harmon, who owned the packing house up there. And he says, come on over by me and I'll show you how to do everything in meat. And I really liked to watch him work, butchering it, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So I went to work for him, and after a while there was another one of them. Couldn't save no money. I wanted to save money, you know. So I got to an old friend from where I grew up, and he was a foreman for concrete, high-rise concrete construction, McHugh Construction. and he got me started up there as an apprentice finisher. Well, you worked your Verena. I ain't complaining about it because the pay was more than I ever made in my whole life, you know. And
that would be kind of tough work too.
That was hard work, and there was no such thing as an 8-hour day. You know, you're working 10, 12-hour day. Everything I got out there was built on the weekends. And
Wow.
while I was working on the high rise, there was times when I come down here, I'd have to get up at 5 o'clock in the morning up there. It'd take 2 hours to drive into the city with the traffic, you know. So coming home sometime it'd take 3 hours to get home.
So you were living here and working in the Chicago area then, is that right?
Not just on the weekends here. I was living at my mom's.
Okay.
Mom and Dad's all week. And I come down Route 49 coming down here. And there was sometimes I was so tired, I'd pull off of 49 and go to sleep
Oh,
on the side of the road, on the side road. And when I woke up, I had no idea where I was at.
that wasn't the most safe things to do either, was it?
But I had a lot of good experiences with it, and I don't regret doing it, you know. But then there was a time where I said, I'm coming down here all the time. I said, I'm just going to quit up there and start down here. So I went to work out of Union, Ontario for a while, but the guys I worked with there were totally opposite of Chicago. Most of them were lazy, and you had to do your work plus their
Plus
work.
theirs.
You know.
They didn't have that Clark County work ethic, did they?
Yeah. So I says, the heck with it, I'm going to go to work for myself. So that's when I started working for myself, finishing concrete. But I had a lot of that driveway out there, and my driveway is all granite cobblestones
See that?
that I got from Chicago. We parked out in the field and walked about a mile to where the job was. One of the jobs was. It was just to save on the parking, because parking was real expensive.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm out in that field one day, kicking around, and it was a road back, but it's all grown up. You didn't know it,
Oh, me.
you know. So every week I'd haul a load of cobblestones back to my mom and dad's house, and I could only put 35 of them on my pickup truck at one time. They were so heavy. Otherwise, the hood was pointing towards the moon.
That gave the springs a real taxing, didn't
Yeah.
it?
So, and there's a lot of 35 cobblestones out there. Took me like a whole year to haul them down.
Well, if you took him to Oak Lawn, then you had to get him down here somehow.
Yeah, that's what I say. Well, I was working up there and coming down here on the weekends, so I'd haul a load down every weekend.
Oh, gee.
Yeah, 35 of them, though. That was it.
If you put on 36, it was a problem?
Well, I remember 35. But it's, I'm glad I got them. I like them. Brings back old memory.
Do you have any idea where those cobblestones originally came from?
No, I don't.
Because some places, a lot of them were used as ballast on ships.
In my garage, I took the cobblestones. There was some of them different colors, and I made a fireplace in the garage out of them.
How about those pillars on the outside of the garage? The stone insets in the end of the garage.
That I bought at a place that sold rock.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So when you came down to Marshall, or this area, to live, where did you first settle then?
Right here.
Out here?
There was a little one-room house out there right at the front there where the big garage is.
Okay.
And I stayed in that. Had a wood stove in it and no water.
That's primitive living.
Yeah, right. But I liked it, you know. I like coming down here and it. So then I started. My best friend up there, he come down with me every weekend, and I bought this house here as a kit, log house. It's a good log kit.
Mm-hmm.
So we put that up and everything, but the hardest job I got out here is way in the back. I got a huge log cabin.
Ooh.
And what that was, in the old days, back in the 1800s, they'd build a log cabin, and then when the family got too big for the log cabin, they'd build a house around it. So you didn't even know there was a log house in it, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I tore the first one. Guy told me I could have this house, had a log cabin in it. I tore it down by hand because I didn't want to spend the money to have it tore down, you know. That's a big job tearing down a 2-story house. And them logs are heavier than heck too.
So did you number the logs so that you knew where they went back when you tried to put it together?
I think I did, yeah. But the thing is the ones on the bottom were all rotten. So I needed another house to tear down to get more logs, you know. So I tore two-story houses down by hand to get enough logs to build that cabin.
In that case, that's where 2 and 2 equals 1, right?
The what?
Where 2 and 2 equals 1.
Yeah, right. And I was awful proud of it. Right now I'm almost 80 years old, and I just can't take care of stuff like I used to, you know.
So your idea of concrete work started with the company work in Chicago where you were working?
Yeah.
So that's what you decided then to make a career of?
Yeah. Yeah, I could see I made more money doing concrete work than anything else, you know.
So did you have someone helping you though, or was it a one-man show?
With concrete?
Yeah.
Oh no, I had 2 or 3 guys working.
That's what I would have thought.
Yeah. Yeah, that's something you can't do by yourself,
I didn't think
especially when it's 100 degrees out.
So were those local people that you hired from this area then?
Yeah.
So how did you let people know, here I am for concrete work?
Oh, I just got a kind of a good reputation with it, and I never had to advertise or anything. I always
That's what it was.
had people calling me up wanting the work done, you know. And I was awful lucky my whole life. People go through their whole lives hating the work that they do. Well, I loved the work that I did. I love cutting meat. I love butchering. I love doing concrete work. And then later on, with the concrete, I started doing taxidermy. And that's why I mounted all these animals.
Yeah. So did in your concrete work, did you specialize in basements,
No.
walkways, drives?
Flat work. Flat outside work, and then ornamental concrete like that sidewalk out there.
Okay. I thought that was probably your handiwork.
Yeah.
Did you develop some of your own patterns?
No, you bought rubber stamps,
Okay.
and that was, you know,
Do they still do that very much?
I don't see much of it,
I haven't either.
but it's awful expensive. Why it costs a lot of money to do it, you know. So people don't want to spend the money anymore.
How about the brick patterns? Is that part of the same idea? To make it look like brick?
Yeah.
So does that take a special dye or something to give it a reddish
You got
color?
coloring you put on it, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, the stuff is expensive. The stamps aren't cheap, and then the coloring costs a ton of money, and then you don't get much done at a time, which means you got to charge a lot more for your work. You know, that's probably why they don't do much of it today.
So how about big driveways and parking lots of, say, like a shopping center or a store? Did you do some of those too?
Yeah. I can't recall right now things that I did, but I stayed busy all the time from spring till fall, you know, late fall.
Wow.
And then between time, when I got to taxidermy work. I don't know how I just shoveled that in between the concrete work, but there's times that I'd wake up, like during the deer hunting season, I'd wake up when I was mounting deer heads, I'd be out there working in my shop at 4 o'clock in the morning. I didn't get up at 4, I was working at 4. And I worked till 8, 9 o'clock at night. You know.
So did the taxidermy work come as a kind of a hobby to start with, or?
Yeah, I started at that, doing stuff for myself, and I said, well, how I can make money at this too, you know. So at the end, I was probably mounting 100 deer heads a year.
Wow.
Yeah, for people. Yeah.
Now, where did you do that work?
I got that front building out there in the
Okay.
back of it,
Okay.
way in the back. I got a shop back there.
So, to me now, taxidermy and that kind of work takes a lot of special skill.
Oh, really a lot.
Where did you do some training or get some guidance to start that type of work?
No, I don't know. I just kind of picked it up on my own and did a lot of reading on it and that.
Okay.
And you learn as you go, you know.
What was the largest project of taxidermy that you did?
Well, one year, I don't remember what year it was in the 90s, I went up 300 miles from the North Pole the third week in February. I wanted to see what it was like at the coldest time of the year. I went up there hunting muskox.
Oh boy, they're
And,
nasty looking things.
I got a life-size one out in the garage.
Wow.
Yeah.
So, how did you shoot it, or
Yeah.
is there a hunting season that you're
Yeah,
able to
oh
do
yeah,
that?
it was a season. Eskimos took me out, and they had to give you clothes to wear because there's nothing around here you could stay warm in. You'd freeze to death, and the clothes you can buy around here. It was 50 below zero with 50-mile-an-hour winds.
Oh,
Yeah,
oh,
that's the truth.
my goodness! I know
That's the coldest time of the year or two. You know.
Did most of their garments from animal skins?
Yeah, up
The
there.
Eskimos?
Yeah. And your blankets and that too were skins with hair on it, you know, caribou and
Boy,
yeah.
that would have been an experience and a half too.
Yeah. Oh, I enjoy it. I don't regret doing it. It was an experience, you know.
Now that musk ox, how did you get that back from Canada to here? Alaska.
Cut it up in pieces and took it back on a plane.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So now is there any limit or restrictions on doing that?
I don't think I ever run into any. Oh, that's the same thing. I'm going to Alaska moose hunting. I hold my moose back on a plane. Yeah.
Now, that was a while back. Could you do that today, or do you know? Have they changed some of the guidelines?
Well, I haven't hunted since a long time now, probably 20 years,
Okay.
and so I don't know if they got any restrictions.
I'll bet they do.
Yeah.
But a big guy like that, how could you get it on the plane?
Well, you got to scan it out, and then you quarter the chunks up and take it back in hunks, you know.
But with that big rack of antlers and the size of the head, did you break that down or cut that up in pieces too?
You skin the head out, yeah.
But my, that would still look like more than a suitcase full. Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
What type of preservative do you use to preserve those skins?
I sent all my skins out to have them professionally tanned. That's the biggest mistake guys did with taxidermy. Try to do this home tanning because it don't last and it don't work, you know.
They start looking a little moth-eaten, do they?
4 or 5 years down the road, the thing starts falling apart on you. You know,
Oh, man.
you got to pay a pretty good buck to have capes in that tin, but it's worth it. I mean, they last forever. You know, these things up here are 30 years old. They look like they're
Well, yeah, they look very fresh.
right.
Now, do you use a vacuum cleaner or something to clean them once in a while? Or?
No, I can't get up there. It's just I got a cleaning lady that comes.
Okay.
Now, when you mount fish, you gotta airbrush all them colors back into them. When you skin a fish out, they're just like gray.
Ray.
You know, there's no color. So when you mount it, then you airbrush them colors back. So there's a lot of skill to it. You know.
I would think so. Now, how about the neck and the shoulder area and the body? Are those real, or do you build those up artificially?
What's that now?
The mold that you're putting the skin on, like the shoulders and the pieces that come down from, yeah.
You buy the forms.
That's
you
what
take measurements off of the
That's what I meant.
off the original, you know, and then it fits right up.
Okay, that's what I thought. You talked about enjoy squirrel hunting earlier. And I was kind of looking around. I thought there's no squirrels, but I see you do have a squirrel over there.
I got more out in the garage.
Is a smaller animal more difficult to do?
Probably. It's been a long time since I've done that too, you know. So I liked it. I liked doing it all. So I didn't think about how hard it was, you know, because I enjoyed doing it. I was just awful lucky my whole life loving the work that I did.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
Now, the large animals like the deer or the moose, what is that eye? Is that a glass?
Yeah. All even the fish got glass eyes. You buy eyes for them.
So do you have to buy an animal for a moose, or do you buy an assortment and here's one that works?
No, you get them. You buy them for whatever you're working on.
For the animal?
Because they got color. They're the right colors.
Yeah.
See? Every animal and every fish has got a different color eye.
Yeah.
You know, so.
So do you don't have the ability to color that eye then?
No.
You have to buy it for the color you want?
Yeah.
So when you were doing your concrete work, you were still doing some taxidermy work too.
Yeah, I was doing both at the same time.
I didn't realize that. I thought
Yeah.
he's a concrete man and that was it.
No. I did both of them at the same time. Yeah.
Did you advertise any of your taxidermy work, or did it come by word of mouth also?
Word of mouth.
Really?
Yeah, I had a lot of people come. I had a good reputation. For one thing, most of these taxidermists, they take forever to get something done. And I got it done right now, you know, because I like doing it.
Now, did you have customers? I thought you said earlier something about you had some in Canada? Customers to do taxidermy work?
No.
No? Okay.
No.
So what was your farthest away that you did some taxidermy work for?
I don't remember. Most of it was all local work.
Okay.
You know, within a 50-mile radius. Yeah. Word of mouth gets you your business, you know.
Were the majority of them deer?
Well, I did a lot of fish. One thing I never got into, which you got over there, is that mallard duck. I didn't mount that. I just didn't care to mount birds, you know.
You said they're for the birds?
Yeah.
With the concrete work and taxidermy, you must have been a pretty busy man, but did you have some hobbies in addition to those?
Well, I probably considered my work my hobbies.
Sounds
I
like
didn't do anything else. Although I exercise like at a fitness zone and that, you know.
Huh.
Once they opened back, I was going there 7 days a week until they closed
Oh,
it.
boy.
Yeah. And I'll start back as soon as they open.
Well, very good for you.
Yeah. I feel like it does me good, you know.
How about walks in the woods? Do you do them around here too?
No. I can't because I got a bad breathing problem too.
Okay.
One year was back a long time ago. I had a plastic tub and I was gonna grind some deer meat up, and this tub had a lime ring around the inside of it. So I said, I'll get rid of that lime ring. So I put bleach in the tub, and on top of that bleach I put muriatic acid, and it was like a bomb went off.
I'll bet.
And I got the slightest whiff of it, and I held my breath, and I grabbed the tub, and I threw it out in the cornfield. But that one little whiff
Bet.
caused me to have bad breathing my rest of my life.
I know they say beware of anything you mix of any two chemicals, especially a
Yeah.
lot of bleaches and stuff.
Yeah.
That's a warning then to other people to stay
And
away.
my breathing is a lot better now, although it's still bad. I run out of breath talking. But before I got wound up in the hospital with a couple bad falls out here, and then they put me in Burnsides, and I lost 30 pounds while I was in there.
Ooh.
And that really helped my breathing out. You know?
That's a heck of a way to do it, though,
Yeah.
isn't it?
But I'm keeping that weight on. I weigh myself every day, and if I gain a pound, I'll eat less the next day, you know. I really watch myself because I don't want to gain that weight back.
Do you do your own cooking and everything?
I don't cook anymore. I just, at nighttime I have, or in the evening for my meal, I like sweet potatoes, and they're supposed to be healthy for you.
Good for you.
So I eat a sweet potato every night, and I get this whole wheat bread and sliced turkey breast, and the whole sandwich is less than 100 calories.
Yeah.
So that's my meal at nighttime. And I have, for dessert, I have one cookie and about a half a cup of frozen yogurt, and that's my meal. And I only eat twice a day. Instead of eating breakfast, I eat my breakfast at noon, and I have a bowl of cereal with a banana, and I put an orange on the side. And that's my meal until night.
Well, Bob, it sounds like it must be working for you. You've lost some weight and staying healthy on that.
Yeah,
So that's a good menu, I guess.
yeah. I don't eat no meat no more, nothing fried, no fat. I try to eat healthy, you know.
The
I also eat a salad at night too, a small salad.
Did you get a menu from some dietitian or something, or is that your menu you put together?
No, I put it my own. Yeah,
What you like or dislike?
yeah.
So did you have any carryouts during this virus crisis thing, or
Anyway,
did you go any place for carryouts, restaurant carryout during this virus?
no. I don't hardly. I've been home for over 2 months, and I've only been to town half a dozen times, and that's going to Walmart to get groceries. And I don't go out no more. Well, for one thing, if I catch that disease, it'll kill me on the spot.
Yeah.
Where my lungs are,
Sure.
you know.
Yeah, I don't know where this crisis thing is going with the virus, but I think surely it will taper down somewhere along the way here.
Yeah,
I don't know if we'll ever get back to normal or not.
yeah.
So I'm going to come back to the concrete work. I find that fascinating. Did you work with anyone to train them to kind of take over your work?
No, most of the guys I had working for me were good finishers. I couldn't have, you know, I wanted somebody to work, not somebody to have to teach, you know. They were good workers, the guys I had working.
Well, now just today, who would they call rather than Bob Irlbacker? Who would they call to do that type of work in this area?
Oh, I got a good friend up in Paris, it's Danny Creech. He does.
I've heard his name.
Yeah, he does good work.
Okay.
Yeah, he's a good finisher. When I come down here, I started working. Before I went to work at the Union Hall, I went to work for Foyt's Construction
Yeah.
in Paris. And it didn't take too long to get away from that place because I couldn't stand the people that I worked for.
Well, as you said, being your own boss means a lot, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Did the I've heard people with the, I guess it's the concrete or the cement or whatever, can sometimes be quite irritating and create a rash. You ever have any problem with that?
No, I never had no problem with that.
Okay. That's because you were so healthy. With the, I guess the high-rise buildings and stuff now, I see them with these, I guess they're buckets and stuff that take concrete up and then pour them in.
Yeah.
That just seems almost like it's got to be weak until it solidifies. What keeps that up? Is the steel reinforcing in it or what?
I know what?
What keeps that together? The steel reinforcing
Yeah.
until it's
There's
solid?
a lot of reinforcing rods in it, yeah. Yeah.
So did you get up in some of the high-rise work when you were in Chicago?
Oh, yeah. I worked on the tallest reinforced concrete structure in Chicago, which is a water tower place.
Yeah.
Reinforced concrete. Now they got structural steel. That's different, you know. But reinforced concrete water tower place at the time, but I'm probably sure it still is. It was like 86 stories.
Yeah.
84, 86 stories. Yeah. I got pictures of it somewhere, but I don't know where.
You mentioned pictures. With the oral histories, they would like to have some pictures if you would have some to put in the file, and then you'd get the original picture back. So Allison said if you would pick out some pictures that you would like to use, she would pick them up when she brought your taxidermy work back. If you've got some pictures of your childhood, some of your family, work, whatever.
Just you make picture copies of them?
Yeah.
And I'll get the pictures back.
Yes.
Oh, I'll be glad to do that.
But she said she could pick those up when she brought your taxidermy work back.
I'll look. That was one of my big hobbies when I was younger too, was taking pictures. And I got
I thought you had a hobby.
them drawers down on the bottom there. They're just loaded with photo albums.
Good.
You know.
Well, yeah, if you got 6, 7, 8, 10 pictures, whatever you'd like, why just let her know.
Yeah, I'll try to pick out some stuff that
Okay.
I think she'd be interested in,
Good.
and then she can make copies of them as long as I get them back.
Oh yeah, they scan them and give you a picture right back.
Yeah.
Do you still have family living in the Chicago area?
No, man, everybody's dead. I don't have no family left.
Oh really?
Yeah, that gets depressing too. Yeah.
Did you have any brothers or sisters?
I had one brother and he died real young, 35 years old.
Excuse me. That's too bad. I'm sorry about that. Well, I had no brothers or sisters, either one, so I didn't have anyone to fight with.
Yeah.
Do you have, I guess, future plans as to what you're going to do with the taxidermy work?
I got friends my best friends live in International Falls, Minnesota.
Oh, yeah.
And when I had him in my will, but I had somebody ahead of him and he died. So I got to get my will changed, and everything I got is going to them.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. There's a people that I hunted and fished with up in Alaska, and I know them for forever. I know them from early even camp.
Do they have a museum or a business where they put the things on display?
No, I don't know what they're going to do with it. When I'm dead, I ain't going to worry about it.
And you said you were about 80. I'm right with you. I'm going to be 82 in a couple
I'm
months.
78.
Okay.
Yeah. This last year has been really, really hard for me. Just everything is falling apart, you know. My shoulders hurt me real bad with arthritis. And my knees, I can't walk without a walker or a cane. I'm really wobbly, and I'm afraid of. I always keep a phone in my pocket.
Oh,
Because
sure.
I fall down out in the yard, and I'm screwed without a phone.
Oh, yeah.
You know.
Have you?
I fell down in here, and I didn't have the phone in my pocket, and I laid on the floor for, it was almost 24 hours.
Oh, gee.
It was a long time.
Gosh, yes.
Yeah.
Have you considered one of those alert things?
Yeah, I need to think about that too, yeah.
There's different companies I know do that, but
Yeah.
that way you've got an instant alert without the phone.
Where do you get them at?
I've seen them advertised, but I don't know if the Union Hospital used to have an access for those.
I don't think they sell them at Walmart, do they?
I don't think so, because it has to be the service and the telephones and all to follow up.
I'll find out, yeah.
But that might be good for you
Yeah.
to consider. With the again coming back to this concrete work, did you get into anything of industrial like? I know they use a lot of concrete in oil drilling and that kind of thing. Did you get into any of that?
No. Most all my work was flat work.
Okay.
Yeah.
Did you have anything with problem with kids coming along and putting initials and?
No, never. Not that I can
Footprints.
remember. No. Of course, most of the times when I left it, you couldn't put your initials in it.
Oh,
It
okay.
was so hard, you know.
Because I know I've seen a lot of walks and
Driveways.
work
yeah,
and driveways where, especially
Garage
at
slabs,
night,
yeah.
kids will come along and put their handprints and footprints in it. There's always someone really to stir things up. Did you, as a youngster, graduate from the Oaklawn School then?
Yeah. Oaklawn High School, yeah.
Okay. Did you go on for any education after that?
No.
Okay.
No. I wanted to, like I say, the day after I graduated high school, I was up in Canada.
That was an education in itself, wasn't it? Okay, well, I would really enjoyed visiting with you, Bob, and I sure enjoyed seeing all of your taxidermy work, and that was nice of you to have that at the library, too.
Okay.
So I guess as a wrapping up thing, when you're in, say, in Canada, someone said, Marshall, where's that and what's that all about? What would you have to say about Marshall to them?
Oh, I always liked Marshall. When I grew up in Oak Lawn, when I was a kid, we moved there from Chicago when I was about 6 years old. There was nothing but fields out there. It looked like out here. Now it's nothing but solid houses, you know. And I got nothing but good to say about Marshall. Because, you know, you can trust all the people are trusting, and you don't have to worry about crime. And
Pretty good place to live, right?
yeah, it is. Yeah.
Well, thanks again, Bob. And, you know, this is going to be somewhere someone's going to say, I didn't know that about Bob. So it's oral history, and that's exactly what it is for you.